Restart.
So, welcome. This is Precarious Pixels. I am Tim.
And I am Bob. And that was a really interesting podcast we just recorded. It's a shame you'll never hear it.
That is true. It had a lot of my dog drinking water for 20 minutes straight. And it was really good. So, we are back. It is the new year.
It is.
I think we were last week.
We definitely recorded during the new year.
Yeah. But this will be our second show of the new year. We missed you guys.
Yeah. Welcome to 2018.
Yes.
All those fires that broke out and, the hellpocalypse that is outside our door right now.
That is right.
It's kind of crazy.
And the aliens coming down was probably my favorite part.
Yeah. I mean...
that giant, cigar-shaped thing that floated through our solar system.
Yeah, I don't even understand how Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones took it down with just one midget cricket.
I know.
And by the way, I managed to work it in there anyway.
Yeah, I saw that. Good job. Welcome to Earth.
Welcome. I believe it's Earth.
Earth.
And that is the wrong alien movie.
Yeah, I know. Oh, did you get to see Bright, by the way?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It's good, worth watching. But what have you seen lately?
Oh, that's a good question. Not a ton. I finally finished Crimson Peak, which I had started forever ago.
Movie. It's got Loki.
It has Loki in it. It has Jax Teller, and it has Alice.
Yes.
Who has a last name that I'm blanking on. King Shacklebolt?
Kingsley Shacklebolt?
I believe it's Alice Kingsley Shacklebolt Tonks the Third.
It's funny, me and my wife were actually watching the Harry Potters the other day, so...
It was solid. The movie was fine.
Yeah. Oh, wow. What a glowing recommendation. Here.
I mean, it's definitely not Del Toro's best work. It's almost like...
It is definitely he had talked about it being a gothic romance. But in the actual...
Was it a romance in any way, shape, or form?
Well, what the actual, original, gothic romance meant. Which it just meant, there's kind of a love story in this, but it's not really about that. It's more about the gothic part. Yeah,
well, I mean, I would say it was fine. Some people, Tim thought there was more mystery to it. I don't know. I guess I've just seen too much in terms of horror and
it's easy
mystery.
to pick up on, especially if all the stuff that we've seen.
Yeah, the mystery for you was that you expected there to be more of a mystery. When we talked about it afterwards, you were like, I wonder if they're really this, and this. And it's just like, no, Tim. No. Del Toro doesn't do mystery.
No, he does a straightforward brother and sister hooking up.
Yeah, which was
spoiler alert, by the way.
Super uncomfortable for everybody. And then a bunch of clay. And it doesn't matter how many times you stab Jax Teller, he will not die.
Yeah, which I have to say, he definitely did not have his swank walk in this one.
His swag walk?
Swag walk, sorry.
Swank. The Jax Teller patent swag walk. He has another name. Some people know him on Earth as Charlie Hunnam, but he will always be Jax Teller. He's never going to live it down.
No.
Because I think pre-Jax Teller, he was in one movie that I have seen, and that was Green Street Hooligans.
That's true, yeah.
But after that, he was always Jax Teller. He was even King Arthur. Arthur once, and he still had the swag walk.
It's about him becoming a dog and then becoming the King of the Britons.
Oh, man, if I would watch that. But only if when he was in dog form, he was voiced by Tim Allen.
Oh, my God.
The perfect
Or even better, Chevy Chase.
Oh, man. Are we referencing, what is it, Karate Dog? Is
that
no. Him?
No, he did Benji? No, not Benji. There was another movie where it was pretty sure it's Chevy Chase, really, this is an older movie from the, 80s, where he dies, but it's he's murdered, and he has to come back but the only body available for him to come back in is a dog.
Yep.
And he has to save, I think, his girlfriend or his wife. I forget which, but it's pretty amazing.
Dark comedy. Got it. I would watch it. I know that he had a similar plot where he was... it doesn't matter. The point is, Chevy Chase hasn't been relevant in a couple of years. It's a shame.
He was Community.
But he burned that bridge.
I know.
You know what? Chevy Chase, you're like the Axl Rose of comedy.
It's true.
Just stop. Like, you know what to do, and you know how to be funny, but maybe leave the rest up to somebody else. They know how to make you fall down.
Oh, yeah.
They can trip you, Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't want to get into another Reese Witherspoon tangent on Chevy Chase.
Go on Chevy Chase.
I don't actively hate him. I just hate what he does to himself.
I know. Yeah, he's getting up there.
You know what? It's like watching a van filled with children back into the water, and you know that you could stop it if you could just get to the brakes, but the brakes are inside Chevy Chase's head.
It's very true.
That's pretty dark.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was watching that referenced that news
van
story.
full of children.
You don't remember that? That was something that happened years ago in one of the southern states.
Oof, that's horrible.
Where a woman blamed it on somebody else, but really she just put her kids in the van and backed it into the water and got out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, super. If I recall, she was racist about it too.
Oof.
Yep.
Oh. Wow.
South.
Apparently.
Probably.
No.
The South. 99% sure it was like one of the Carolinas.
What? Just gonna be like New York State?
It was like Vermont.
Vermont.
She backed them into a snowdrift. The kids are fine.
Well, hopefully.
Blamed it on a snowman. It's the opposite of everything.
Oh my god. Blamed it on a snowman.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
I gotta remember that lady's name.
So, King Arthur as a dog.
Arthur.
But yeah, I remember, like, he pretty much does that in all his movies.
It's
like,
impossible not to walk like that now.
Pac Rim, definitely was in that one.
Yeah, man, you know what? I think the problem is he must have some sort of weird shaped waist. Because he also
looks pretty normal to me.
No, he also needs to always constantly be holding his pants up. Because that's part of the swag walk. Have you not noticed that?
Yeah, no, I have noticed that.
It's
like the one hand on the kind of like the belt area.
I'm mimicking it for everybody else.
You can't see this right now, but Bob is actually doing his own version of the swag walk.
But without walking. Yes.
But it is like kind of like...
It's a talent.
It's like one, like I'm a little teapot. He has to make that little arm.
No, but it's up front.
On his waist.
It's up front near the buckle.
No, I know. But it's like, I'm a little teapot.
Yeah.
He's making that handle. And then he is walking.
He is. I guess he's not that short.
No, he's...
I wouldn't describe him as stout.
No.
And we're not going to point out his spout.
But yes, even in King Arthur, he kind of does that, which is so strange. There's so many strange things about that movie. One of them being a giant snake. But yeah, he has pretty much done
snake?
that.
Oh, the snake.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Like, not
That's
even...
my favorite line in the film.
There's a giant snake?
No. My favorite line in the film is... Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
There's no Merlin.
Well, yeah, that was also kind of a weird thing to me.
But there is a woman who has no name.
Yeah,
she's simply known as the
Dark Woman, or like
she hasn't not the wizard, not the enchantress, but something like that.
Yeah, it's something along those lines.
There is a point where she's shaking Jax Teller's hand,
right,
or King Arthur. And a snake comes out from underneath her sleeve.
Yeah.
And as it's doing that, do you know what she says?
I haven't seen it. No, what does she say?
I hate snakes.
She says
She says, I hate snakes.
Which is weird.
It's incredibly weird. It doesn't fit her character. At all.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit what happens next at all.
Yes.
Also, there's a thing I like to call planning.
You're right.
If I hate snakes, and I can... Let's assume that she somehow conjured it.
Right.
I would probably not conjure it on me.
Yeah, but I think it's more of like she's like one of those, in Game of Thrones, wargs. Like she can control animals or something.
Right, but why is it on her?
I have no clue.
If she hates it...
I have no clue.
Think it through, lady.
That movie was just weird in general. It had some good ideas and some interesting visuals, but there's a lot. I don't know. There's definitely some plot holes here and there that they could.
You think?
They could fix.
It's almost like they started to make a movie,
right?
And Guy Ritchie had a vision for it,
right?
And then they were like, "Well, you're spending too much money, Guy Ritchie."
Yes.
And it's taking way too long, Guy Ritchie. So how about you finish it, Budman? And he put this out, and it was just like...
I don't know if they spent some money on this
I'm
movie.
sure they spent some money on it. The problem is they spent a lot.
Yeah, there is like dinosaurs in this freaking thing. There's a woolly mammoth that is like they ride as like a giant like kind of like battle cat thing.
There are dragons, if I recall.
Are there dragons?
Aren't there dragons at the beginning? Isn't that part of why?
I don't remember if there were dragons in it. I don't think there
100%.
was dragons in it. I think you're thinking of Transformers.
No, those were robots. I know the difference between a robot and a dragon.
Two-headed dragon robot.
Dragon bot is different.
Yeah.
I don't know. To be continued.
Right.
I don't remember that. I'm going to have to watch King Arthur again.
King Arthur.
I'm actually going to edit the film down to my own cut, where every time Jax Teller's on the screen, I divvy it up in like a hat, right? I write down the exact time codes,
right,
and then I'll go back and insert clips of dogs at half of them.
Okay.
And then I have to find old audio of Chevy Chase or Tim Allen.
Okay. We can go
and
Tim
dub
Allen.
that over with the dialogue that makes sense. This is going to take some time, people.
I think you can do it.
I think I'm going to have to quit my job.
Sounds good.
Touche.
Yeah. So, there's that. So, Crimson Peak.
Crimson Peak was just fun.
Good.
It wasn't the best. It was probably his weakest film.
Yeah. But honestly, one of the best things to look at in the movie is, like, all the stuff they made. Like, they built Crimson Peak, like, actually 100% built that thing, that house they put on that hill, which they could have very easily just done CG for a lot of it, but he really made it in, I think in Croatia, I want to say. I'm not sure exactly where he put it.
Somewhere it was cheap.
Yeah, somewhere it was cheaper to make it, and did a great job. I mean, everything in it is very ornate, very looks of the time. Like, they do a lot of like research into that, and colorful.
I almost feel like he needs somebody to help him.
Yeah.
Which is why I think a lot of his stuff in between his own projects are things he produces, because he sees that they have great visions.
Right.
But his writing is not the strongest.
Well, see, that's the thing. Some people are saying that Shape of Water is really well done.
Well, I'd have to see it.
Yeah, that's one we'll probably review soon.
And that's what's weird to me. His creation...
Right.
I'm sorry, but his creation is clearly somebody else's creation.
Very true.
It could not look more... When I saw that trailer, I was like, that's weird that they'd go back and take this character and make a romance drama thriller about him.
Oh, it's definitely not only does it look like Abe Sapien,
it's played by him.
It's played by the same guy. It's Doug Jones, definitely playing him, because that's pretty much what he's like an expert at, is like mimicking animals.
Finland.
And yeah,
he's like the
he's
what's his name, the ape guy, Andy Serkis.
Yeah, in fact, I think they've done like
Oh
movies.
my god, could there please be a Fishman and an ape movie?
I would love that. I hope that's the new Hellboy.
One loose cannon cop Fishman.
Oh my god.
Teamed up with one straight edge ape detective.
It's the new Lethal Weapon.
I would watch it. Yeah. They have to come up with a great name.
But who's the Riggs and who's the Murtaugh?
Well, the Fishman would have to be the Riggs.
Why would the Fishman have to be the Riggs?
Because I feel like the Fishman is like the taller guy.
Okay.
No, because Riggs was shorter. Maybe the Fishman is the straight edge guy. No, I mean, if it's played by Doug Jones, right? Is his name? He has the voice that you would want to be the straight edge cop.
Okay.
But I feel like that would be the thing that made it interesting, is he's the guy that lets loose this time. Because Andy Serkis is always the guy who's not letting loose. Or is letting loose, I should say.
Yeah.
And Doug Jones is always the guy who's not. He always seems like he has a plan in place, even when he's getting chased by, dreadlocked demon monsters under the water.
We're talking Hellboy 1.
Yeah, he's even calm and collected. He was not Darth Maul, or was he? Was he Darth Maul?
Who?
Doug Jones?
Oh, no, that's Ray Parks.
That's Ray Parks.
Snake Eyes.
So Doug Jones was Pan, or he was the Fawn in Pan's Labyrinth.
Well, he was like 4 things in like Pan's Labyrinth.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he was the guy with the eyes in his hands.
Eyes in his hands. He was the Fawn.
Yeah, dude. Let him be the guy who talks a lot and goes crazy.
Yeah.
And let Andy Serkis, the guy whose voice I've heard a million times, be the straight... Why are we discussing this? It's never going to happen.
I know.
I would watch this movie, though.
We gotta
name it.
Movie.
We gotta name it. Because now it's a baby.
I always want to call it like Myrrh and Bananas or something like that.
Myrrh and Bananas? Why Myrrh? You just want that Murtaugh connection.
No. Well, that. But Myrrh is actually the ape guy, and then Bananas is the fish guy.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Because he's the crazy guy. He's Bananas.
But Myrrh is just because of Murtaugh?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say Merc.
Merc?
Merc. Because Merc sounds like it would be more related to, like, water. Like murky water.
All right.
And then they truly have the opposite names.
That's perfect.
Merc and Bananas.
I think we should write up a spec script.
It sounds appealing.
And send it. Oh, my God. Appealing. And then we could just run over to Netflix and be like, I think we've got your next big one.
You don't even bring it to Netflix. You send this to Doug Jones himself.
Oh, really?
How many times do you think...
Because Doug Jones gets things done, let me tell you. Master producer. I'm nothing against Doug Jones. Doug Jones is great.
That's what I mean.
I loved you in Hocus Pocus, Doug Jones. Oh, you don't know how far back Doug Jones goes.
No, I believe it. I
remember
I feel like Doug Jones is probably not happy.
The undead boyfriend in Hocus Pocus?
Do you think he looks back at that with disdain?
No, he loves it. Because, this is a funny thing, I went to Zombie Day. There was a guy dressed as the undead boyfriend in Hocus Pocus at Zombie Day. He tweeted it to Doug Jones. Doug Jones responded, love it. Love it.
But do you think Doug Jones would ever respond, hate it?
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, worst time of my life.
I really don't think he'd take the time to tweet that.
No, I don't think he would either.
I'm actually, you know what's sad?
What?
I think I've seen that movie once, but I remember that.
Oh, yeah. It was very memorable.
And we're talking about a long time ago, because I think I saw it in theaters.
And not a speaking role. Had his mouth stitched shut.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah.
Because the horse was mad at him.
I don't even remember.
I think it was the horse. He was dating the horse, right?
Sarah Jessica Parker. Is this going to be another Reese Witherspoon?
No.
You're going to go off on Sex
I have no
and the
personal
Cities?
problem with her. If anybody asked me if I had an issue with Sarah Jessica Parker, do you know what I'd say, Tim?
What would you say?
Take a guess, Tim.
I know exactly what you're going to say. Go ahead and say it.
Say it.
Say it.
Nay.
I knew it was like, oh, God. Here comes the horse pun.
Yep.
Oh, man.
No need to have a long face about that joke. Anyway, she's like the Frank Langella of leading ladies.
Oh, man. Don't insult Frank Langella.
I'm not... wow. He kind of whispered it, but just so you know...
Frank Langella, I will defend Frank Langella.
So would I.
Good man.
Fine.
All right.
I figured out, by the way, I don't think I brought it up yet.
Mm-hmm.
But we had talked about that really bad movie I had seen, the horror film called Starry Eyes, a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
I figured out the project they put those guys on.
Oh, really?
Because I remember reading an article, directors, because there's two of them, of Starry Eyes.
Okay.
Were handed a remake project.
Oh, God.
And I remember thinking, first off, why? Because I saw Starry Eyes. And maybe it was a budget thing.
Okay.
They were handed, based on how popular the last remake of this person's work was,
all right.
They were handed a very important project, in my opinion.
Okay.
Also starring a guy with a really long face, who was a bit part.
Okay.
Pet Sematary.
Oh, they were given that?
They're remaking Pet Sematary.
That isn't surprising. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Because, name recognition.
What?
They can't remake Carrie because they did it like 3 years
Yeah,
ago.
they just did Carrie. They just did It, which was very popular.
Well, it was the reason.
And they just did... Netflix just put out 1922, which had Old Punisher in it.
Thomas Jane, Old Punisher? Or Dolph Lundgren, Old Punisher?
No, Thomas Jane.
Okay, that's a shame.
I know.
Dolph Lundgren needs work.
He does. Which, funny enough, he was actually in a documentary I just saw.
I remember you telling me you just watched the documentary. Which one was that, Tim?
Toys That Made Us.
Which segment was he in?
Oh, He-Man, sir, because he was He-Man, the movie He-Man.
I thought that was somebody else. I thought it was Christopher Lee.
No, I wish that would have been the best He-Man
I
ever.
would have watched a Christopher Lee He-Man twice.
Oh, like 100 times. They would have made 1,000 of those movies.
Why did they explain why they didn't call it He-Man?
Oh, they call it the Masters of the Universe?
Yeah.
The original toy line itself was Masters of the Universe because they wanted something that would be bigger than Star Wars.
Yep.
And what's bigger than Star Wars than Masters of the Universe? The longest freaking name you could ever give anything. I have no idea why they just kind of like were like, oh, we'll go with Masters of the Universe.
Well, I mean, they are the Masters.
That's right. And the original thing was Lords. I think they were originally going to call it Lords of Power. Which, if you watch this documentary, it's a great documentary. They do all about Barbie. They do all about the Star Wars toys when Kenner first put those ones out. Really good. But the He-Man segment is particularly interesting to me just because I was involved in some of that.
He was.
Yeah, the Four Horsemen, the guys who did the Castle Grayskull and a bunch of the other, like, pretty much the revival of the He-Man toys. One of my bosses is on there, Eric, and another friend of ours, Ed Wasek, is in the background of his segment. And Eric is 100% the real deal. He is always, always, always talked about how much he loved the He-Man toys, and that inspired him to be a sculptor. And anything you loved at McFarlane, when those first like major toys came out, a lot of it came out because Eric and a few other like sculptors that were there. But when he started his own company, I know he definitely went after like getting the He-Man stuff. They do all the stuff now. I mean, they do Justice League and all the DC heroes on the CW, like they do all those toys, but like always, like anytime they can do like a He-Man toy or something close to that, they definitely go for it. But it was kind of cool to see that stuff. But Master of the Universe, they just wanted like a name that they thought was going to be powerful, but they also wanted something that, was bigger than Star Wars. But honestly, who knows? They were making it up as they go along. Pretty interesting documentary.
I'd have to watch that movie again.
But yeah, Dolph Lundgren as He-Man. I think the guy who created the actual sculpture for He-Man said he was too skinny and lanky to be his He-Man. He wanted a bulkier He-Man. Which I was just like... Then Dolph Lundgren.
Alright.
And this was right after Rocky.
Do you think he was just sitting there and he was like, man, I wish we'd have gotten Schwarzenegger? Did
Did
they attempt to?
I don't know if they attempted to.
Because
but
Dolph Lundgren.
I think even they said Schwarzenegger wasn't big enough for them.
And Dolph Lundgren was, well, I mean, at the time, if it was right after 4, then he was probably one of the most recognizable faces on the planet.
Yeah.
Because Rocky 4 was massive. Rocky 4,
huge.
arguably the best Rocky. But nobody will argue it because they know it's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
I will break you. I must break you. I think that's what he says. I must break you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take that, Russia.
That's right.
He's not even Russian. He's not even Russian.
No, he isn't. But it's funny. And I've heard he's a pretty funny guy. And
he's also super smart.
Yeah. And a bit of a weirdo.
Which is like perfect.
Yeah. But that movie made no sense. Courtney Cox is in that movie.
But Rocky?
What? Oh, Rocky? No, He-Man.
No, she's in Masters of the Universe. I believe she works in like a fast food joint or something.
Yeah. And there's something about her parents dying in a plane crash. It's all over the place. It has the worst looking versions of any of the characters from He-Man.
Skeletor looked fine.
Skeletor looked okay, and He-Man looked okay, but they didn't really even do like the iconic moments where like he's like, I have the power. Like none of that.
The power of Grayskull.
The power of Grayskull.
Does he even have a sword?
He does. But I don't even remember them doing a lot of sword fighting, and it's so strange. They added characters that weren't ever in He-Man in any form. Like, there was no toys made. They were never in the cartoons. Like, I'm not sure what they were thinking. I think it was probably a budgetary kind of thing.
How disappointed would you be if I told you that my only exposure to He-Man
really
was that movie?
Wow.
And I'd seen the toys. I don't think I ever owned one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Is that sad to you?
No, it's not sad. My brother, I think we had a He-Man and a Skeletor. He cut the fingers off a He-Man and Skeletor so they couldn't hold swords. So
Why
fresh.
did you do that?
I have no idea.
That's
It was so frustrating to me.
It's literally
He-Man and Skeletor they only could do fist fighting.
Does Skeletor carry a sword?
He does. It's like they both have like half of a sword. So when you
that seems ineffective.
I know. Well, it's like split in half. Like
no, I get it.
Like it's like a whole sword.
They're opposites of the same end.
Yeah. Like it's like two flat sides of a sword that when you put both flat sides together, it makes like a key, and that key opens the Castle Grayskull, and then you can get the power of Grayskull, basically, and then rule the universe or whatever you're going to do.
Yep.
So that's what Skeletor's plan is.
You just said those things.
I know. It's amazing.
I mean, I'd have to, maybe I'll go back and watch one of the cartoons and I'll watch the documentary.
Don't do that. There's some great...
Don't do that.
You can watch the documentary, which is very interesting and very funny. Especially when they get into, like, how they made the toys. It's amazing. The story you told me reminded me of the story of Todd McFarlane and the group that created, what was it? Was it Image Comics? Yeah, Image Comics. When
they went over to, where'd they go? Marvel?
Well, they were all working in Marvel.
Oh, and then they went to DC.
Yeah, just
the story of you, of what happened at DC.
Yeah,
I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Sounds very similar to the story of the creation of He-Man.
Pretty close. But yeah.
But yes, I definitely recommend. Do you know if they're doing one about the turtles? Because it seems like that would be No, because you said there was a whole documentary about the turtles. Turtle Power.
Well, that was...
Was that you?
I think I might have talked about it, but also could have been on How Did This Get Made?
No, I listened to their Ninja Turtles one. They don't mention... I don't think they care.
Definitely for the second one. I don't know if they do. They don't do the third one. They did the second one.
They did the second one. They did not even know a third one existed.
Oh. And why did it ever exist? I have no clue.
Are you kidding me?
They didn't even get Jim Henson back to do they had to do completely different suits.
Yep.
They looked bad.
They go back in time. Turtles in Time. Is Shredder even in that?
No. Sonny Chiba is in that movie.
Well, that's the reason right there. Man, what if Sonny Chiba is the lieutenant? So, Doug Jones.
Oh, Doug Jones.
Andy Serkis.
Yeah, okay.
And Sonny Chiba as the angry lieutenant.
Oh, I would watch that movie.
And because it's going to be 80s-esque,
okay,
I feel like his role should not match his specific country of origin.
Okay.
So what if he speaks the entire time with an Italian grandmother accent?
Oh my god.
Sonny Chiba attempting that? This could be
Honestly,
the greatest masterwork ever.
Sonny Chiba could pull it off. I bet he would win an Oscar.
It would be so racist of me to even attempt this, so I will not.
Oh, go ahead.
But there will be attempts made in my personal life.
Attempts
when nobody can hear, when I know there's no audio equipment. I won't even do it in the same building as a computer.
Alright. But yeah, so I'm sure. I think they're probably, if they're doing an 8-part documentary, and they're probably seeing, if they've only done up, I think the 4th one I haven't seen yet, which is G.I. Joe.
Of course,
I'm betting Ninja Turtles because it was so huge, and they also did like that crazy thing where they would make a character and just throw it in there, and also like stuff that didn't even make sense. Like I think there was like Magic Party Mike, which was like he was dressed like a magician, like for a kids party. No sense.
Why not? Are you saying that the Turtles would not always want to be secretive about the fact that they existed, and that sometimes they would just work on the weekends at parties?
At kids parties?
Yeah, like the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but why dress as a magician and not just as a turtle? Like
you don't want people to know you're a real turtle.
Well, all right, we'll reference this. Remember the movie they made recently, TMNT?
I
remember what Michelangelo's job is.
The animated one?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the animated one. Do you remember what happens? What Mike's job is in the movie? He is a Ninja Turtle for kids parties. He wears a fake head.
Yes, I remember now.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
But he does not dress like a magician.
No, he dresses as a Ninja Turtle.
He dresses like himself, with like a weird fake paper mache head to get extra money.
Why was that the best of the recent movies? Why did that happen?
Why did that happen?
Why did that become the best of the recent movies?
Of the recent Turtle movies?
You know, they had a big budget on those others.
I know. Honestly, I think if that studio I know closed down, and I think Imagi closed down.
Oh, the ones that did the animated one?
Yeah, which is sad. They were gonna do a Legend of Zelda animated one, which they had some test footage done. It looked good. It looked really good. They did it like really like accurate to like the first Legend of Zelda kind of like characters.
That would have been cool.
But
that's a shame.
Yeah, but now we were stuck with Michael Bay Turtles.
I mean, the second one was definitely better than the first.
Okay. I still have not seen the second one.
Oh my gosh, Tim. We've talked about it.
I know we have.
And you've had all the time in the world.
I know. I really just can't bring myself to watch it. And
it has a lot of things in it that you like.
I know. Bebop and Rocksteady and Krang.
Not just that. It has, I know you like Arrow.
So I know. Casey Jones is there, yeah.
And it has Will Arnett in it.
Batman himself.
Batman himself. Lego Batman.
No. Batman.
And he's playing Vern.
Oh, the guy who was like who drove the truck, right? Well, he was in the first one.
He was the same character.
Yeah.
Just so you know, you're missing opportunities left and right.
Yeah.
Like it's it's an opportunity. It's like they say, you should watch it.
just spit everywhere.
That was, I believe, that was on the cover of the DVD when it first came out.
Of Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, it said Tim should watch this. He'd probably think it's okay.
No.
With that inflection.
No. Because I'll still watch that first Turtles movie, and I will get my coupons for Pizza Hut and order me a pizza.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's what they used to put in the original VHS. In fact, I think the commercial attached to the original VHS is a Pizza Hut commercial.
I remember Pizza Hut used to be awesome.
They used to be.
So you used to, like, when you were a kid, they had, like, book club.
Oh, yeah.
If you read a certain amount of books, which I read a lot when I was a kid, you got, like, free personal pizza. But also, they had things where if you got a personal pizza, you could pick up a VHS tape.
Of Ninja Turtles.
Of, like, an episode of Turtles. Maybe it was 2.
Okay.
And an episode of... They had another one with X-Men.
Oh.
And I didn't
Was this the Pride of the X-Men?
No, it was the 90s or 80s cartoon.
Okay, I think it was the 90s.
With Jubilee.
Yes, okay, that's the new one.
And it came with...
Or newer.
The first episode. So, as a kid, I didn't have cable. The reason I know probably more than your average Joe about movies, and I watched so many movies, is because when I was a kid, we had, like, my dad had a video store, and I had access to hundreds and hundreds of movies, but we had a VCR at home, and I watched the first episode of the Turtles and the first episode of the X-Men probably 100 times.
Oh, yeah.
The same as when I was a kid, I probably watched the Garbage Pail Kids, and that's why I remember those voices.
Oh, man.
We were talking about Garbage Pail Kids earlier.
Which, another great podcast, How Did This Get Made? Check out both the Turtles Secret of the Ooze.
Yep.
And Garbage Pail Kids. It is amazing. And those movies are awful.
What?
Awful.
Not Turtles 2.
Turtles 2 is awful.
No.
Wouldn't let them use the swords. Wouldn't let them use any other weapons.
It's not their fault. Sausage fights in a mall food court at the beginning, I remember.
Yeah. They couldn't use actual, like, weapons anymore. They had to use, like, other things to fight with. Except for Donnie. Donnie could use his bow because it's just a stick.
But it was the same on the cartoon. If you noticed, on the cartoon they never stabbed things, except for little robots.
That's true, but they did have to do it at least a little bit with kid stuff. But definitely there was, like, the first episode, when they, like, fight the Foot Clan, and they find out they're robots, they beat the crap out of those robots. Like, hardcore.
Yeah, but they're robots. Can you imagine now what that cartoon would be? It would be nothing.
No, that cartoon is out now.
Yeah, but they don't fight anything.
Oh, they fight stuff all the time.
They probably talk about it.
No, they fight.
No. They definitely don't stab anything.
Well,
I bet you Leo doesn't even carry a sword anymore.
Oh, he carries a sword. He'll always carry a sword.
He carries like a paper mache sword.
No, it's made of wood.
A training sword?
Training sword.
And yeah, that'll be the hook that keeps people watching, is that he'll only get to carry a real sword when Splinter thinks he's capable.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll forever be in training for the cartoon. Until the day it gets canceled and the creators find out.
Yeah.
And that's the day he starts stabbing everyone. Leo just goes all out.
Just goes ballistic and just starts stabbing people at random.
They'd have to figure out a way to animate that without anybody finding out. It's a tricky one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we got on that tangent. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I like it. But hopefully that will be probably the next segment they release for the Toys That Made Us.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, very good. I'm going to definitely finish it up, and hopefully they'll have some more parts. So since it is a new year, instead of New Year's resolutions this year, we've kind of like thought about, or I've thought about it. I don't know if Bob has thought about it yet, but
I thought about it for a few minutes.
Okay, but theming our year, and like it's kind of like better than doing a New Year's resolution, because you could say, hey, I'm going to lose 20 pounds and go to the gym and blah, blah, blah every day. But honestly, like, usually those resolutions are done in, like, a month. You, like, miss a day, you get sad about it, and you end up not, carrying out your resolutions. It's better to, I think, theme your year. So let's say instead of, like, planning to do, like, workout every day, blah, 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 and just have your theme of your year be health. And that way it's like you don't have to punish yourself every time if you miss something. It's like, okay, but I have the rest of the year to kind of, keep up with it. So I didn't work out today. Don't punish yourself about it. Work out, the next day or a little
Very
bit.
into fitness all of a sudden, too.
I'm just saying a lot of people's resolutions revolve around fitness. So, eat healthier or working out. But you can also do other things. Yes, Bob is showing that he's drinking a Diet Pepsi.
Diet.
And
it's now aspartame free. And I can barely pronounce aspartame, so I imagine it's bad for me. Yeah. It still has 1 billion ingredients.
Sure.
That's some acid.
That's okay.
There's a lot of acid in a Diet Pepsi.
I think you're,
I'm not even sure I'm really seeing these
killing
things.
Our sponsor, Pepsi.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pepsi.
Mr. Pepsi.
I'm drinking your product. I love it and recommend it.
Sponsor us, Pepsi.
Yes.
Sponsor us.
Oh my God, it's Pepsi Man.
Oh man, I was at a. Remember you were there? I think.
Yeah, I was there.
We were at New York Comic Con, and there was Pepsi Man. Which is actually a character that was in commercials for a time.
And a game.
Did they have a game?
They had a Pepsi Man game.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Was it the best game ever?
It was not. But it was fine.
Yeah.
It worked. It was
Sure.
Not as good as the 7-Up game with the spot.
Oh. I do kind of remember the 7-Up game with the spots. Was it? I thought there was more than one spot.
No, it was the 7-Up spot.
Okay.
It was before Orlando Jones became the 7-Up guy.
No,
he
yeah,
started
make
saying
7-Up
up yours in every commercial.
Yeah, make 7-Up.
Pretty rude, 7-Up.
I know.
Are you still relevant?
Yeah. But nothing will beat the Burger King Race game, which is basically like Mario Kart.
You mean the 3 Burger King games?
Yes. Oh, there was 3 of them. Oh, that's right, there were 3 of them.
There was Pocket Bike Racers.
Yes.
Big Bumpin'. And Sneak King. Which, I don't know if you remember what Sneak King was. It was a stealth-based game where you had to sneak up on people and give them food. Why were you sneaking? Nobody was going to run from you had you offered them food.
No. They would ran.
Creepy mascot.
The best mascot.
The best mascot. Everybody knows the best mascot is the Grimace.
Oh my God. The Grimace gives me nightmares.
I know.
They don't even use him anymore.
It's a shame.
Yeah. I don't think they even use the clown anymore.
Ronald?
Oh, he's it to me.
He's it.
That's
Yeah.
Pennywise, pretty much.
Yes. Please feel free to send all of your pictures of clowns to Tim.
Oh my God. Send no pictures of clowns to me.
There's nothing wrong with a clown. He just wants to make you laugh, Tim.
Why is the smile painted on?
Well, it's got to be permanent.
No.
So you know that you should always be laughing and smiling.
No.
He just wants us to permanently be happy.
Creepy.
Why are you going to take that away from him?
All creepy.
You're going to make him angry, Tim.
What was that?
And then he'll suddenly have a lobster claw.
He'll bite your arm off.
He will, totally. Georgie. Rest in peace, Georgie.
I know, Georgie. Just let that paper boat go.
You know what? His brother made it for him.
That's right.
I don't even know. Did his brother actually make it, or did he just, wax it?
Oh, I think he helped him fold it and make it. And then he wrote his name. And then I think he waxed it for him.
Hey, Georgie. That drool, though.
Ugh.
That drool was apparently real.
Ugh.
That's a good movie.
Might as well have been Ronald McDonald down there. With Grimace as his friend.
We are talking about the movie It, in case you haven't figured it out.
That's right.
There is a scene in It where
Spoiler alert.
the entire theater is quiet.
Right.
And I remember it because I saw It with Tim.
Yes.
The entire theater was quiet. And Tim says, "Oh, hell no." Out loud, very audibly.
Yes.
My favorite moment in seeing a movie last year.
Yeah. Which made, I'm sure, definitely amused you. Definitely amused our other friends who were there.
Yes, they also laughed.
Yes.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. There's a room that one of the kids walks into who also doesn't like clowns. And there is pretty much a room full of, like, clown items. And I was just like...
Including a painting of Tim Curry.
Yes.
Or a picture.
No, I think they actually had a doll that looked like
a doll. Okay.
It looked like the original Pennywise.
Oh, I thought it was just Tim Curry.
They just had Tim Curry in the corner.
That would have been awesome.
They did pay a little homage to him, which I kind of liked that. But still, I did see that movie twice. Both times, I was not happy with that scene. It's still weird. It's
a great movie.
Oh, it's an amazing movie, and I would watch it again. It's definitely worth watching. And
it is.
It is, and
I'm
I can't actually
wait.
wait.
Sequel.
I am excited for the sequel and how they're going to pull that off.
Who are they going to cast? Well, obviously Amy Adams.
Why Amy Adams?
Because that girl looks just like Amy Adams. She looks like a young Amy Adams would look.
If she had cut off all her hair.
Yeah, but I'm sure it grew back in 20 years.
No.
Okay.
I hope that they actually have her with a short haircut.
It was 30 years, right? 30 years?
I forget.
29.
I think it was like for 27 every 27 years or something like that.
Yeah.
I forget exactly what it is, but yeah.
It doesn't matter. They should just put the cast of the original miniseries in it.
Really?
Like in the sequel.
Okay.
Like the adult cast, but they couldn't get back John Ritter, but everybody else should still be alive.
John Ritter.
I mean, the judge from Night Court.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably not doing anything.
Was it Harry...
Anderson,
yeah.
I saw... There was that weird episode of 30 Rock where they did like a Night Court reunion.
Oh, yeah.
Just put John Larroquette.
Larroquette, yeah.
Have John Larroquette play every role in the It remake, or the It sequel.
Well, he's on The Librarians, or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's not busy. Have him play all of the roles.
I would watch that. I like John Larroquette quite a bit.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's a good guy.
He was good on Night Court.
I saw him in House. He was good.
Was he on House?
He was for one weird show. I forget what. Something where I think he kills himself in a weird way. It's a weird movie or a weird show.
Which one was suicide on House?
I have no clue.
That's how they got Kumar too.
I know. Well, that's because he had to go work for
Obama.
And he was like, "I need out of here. Can you just shoot me?"
Now he's on the show that Jack Bauer's on. That Jack Bauer shouldn't be on.
Which one?
He's on some show.
Not Designated Survivor?
Yeah, he's on that.
Oh, okay.
He plays, I don't know. He's like an assistant or something now.
An intern?
No, but now he's like, I don't even know how you describe it. He was an intern, and now he writes speeches.
Okay.
And then, I watched 2 episodes. So if you're listening to this and you're shouting at your radio or MP3 player or whatever,
yeah, and
you're like, Bob doesn't know what he's talking about, it's because that show is not very good.
And yet again, we're on a weird tangent. Yeah, I think we'll theme this episode the weird tangent episode.
It should be called Designated to be Cancelled.
Oh.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But it's not going
to happen. Take that, TV Guide, if it still existed.
Never going to happen. They're going to keep it forever.
They probably will. ABC does not cancel the bad shows.
Did they cancel Inhumans?
I don't know. No, I think it's still up in the air. I think that show was like the worst received Marvel show ever.
Oh, awful.
And it still might not be canceled.
That's weird.
But they canceled Agent Carter, which was decent.
Which was a great show. I think it's because of Haley Atwell didn't want to be like.
No, she wanted to do it.
I don't think so. I think because she wanted to do a different show.
If she wanted to do that other show, that thing got canceled, I think.
Yeah. which I thought was a shame.
And I think that had the same name as a show with, like, Zach Morris in it from a few years back.
Oh, really?
Hey, how about coming up with a better name, guys?
But Haley Atwell will be back in Avengers.
Oh, she's...
What? But
I guess another
who knows?
flashback?
I don't know. Like, because there's going to be, I think, several flashbacks. Because the Preacher, the guy who plays Preacher, he is also returning as Howard Stark, Tony Stark's father. Because that would be, like, they're flashing back to, I think, like, the 40s.
Which is weird, because Howard Stark has been played by different people.
Right. Well, no, there's, I guess, like, Howard Stark a little bit older, which is the guy from Mad Men. Yeah. But the young Howard Stark from Captain America, the First Avenger, and on Agent Carter was I really wish I could remember his name, but the actor who plays Jesse Custard in Preacher.
Dominic something?
I want to say Dominic something.
I want to say it's Cooper West.
It could be Cooper. No, Dominic. No, that sounds like I think that's somebody else.
Well,
either way,
I don't know their names.
Google it, people.
Yeah, Jesse Custer.
Jesse Custer.
Which he'll forever be known as, because
Yeah.
Preacher's actually a good show.
A really good show. But Agent Carter, I liked the first season the best. Loved that red fedora. The second season was okay. But I was kind of like hoping they keep going with it, and I think a lot of the fans were kind of hoping that too. But she shows up as Agent Carter every so often.
Oh, she's still on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Well, I don't know if she does any of that stuff. They had talked about doing a crossover. I think they never got the chance to. But in the movies, she's like last Captain America movie. No, sorry, not Civil War. She was in Winter Soldier.
She was
for a little bit.
That weird dance number.
Right. Age of Ultron. She's in that weird thing where Cap has like a flashback dream.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, she has a dance thing in there. But in Winter Soldier was like she played her older self, which is kind of like where they had Tony Stark younged up in Civil War for like that one scene at the beginning. They did an age up on her for Winter Soldier.
That's some crazy technology.
It is some crazy technology.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Made Professor X look really young.
Yeah.
Stop doing that.
They did.
Just keep it natural, guys.
Hugh Jackman looked really young too for Logan.
He always looks young.
Yeah. Old man Logan. Which he says like he'd come back.
I told you.
He'd come back and do it, but
there was one stipulation. He said,
if it has to be Avengers, X-Men, which that will be coming out soon. Which I don't even honestly I don't even know if I care anymore that they're doing Dark Phoenix. I just like I'm not excited for it.
Is Fox still involved in that?
It's gonna go. Like I think they're keeping their slate of movies that they've already done. So, like the New Mutants, I'm excited about that. Deadpool 2.
Well, they're not going to stop them, but what I'm saying is, like, can they go in? Is Disney going to go in and just like make some subtle adjustments?
I don't know. I have no clue how they
and like try and link them.
They could do it. They actually even have a device to do it because if they go by Jonathan Hickman's run, which was Avengers Infinity War, which he came up with the Black Order, which are Thanos' generals, the children of Thanos. Right after that is the next big event is Secret Wars, which not only introduces like all the different universes in the Marvel universe, which, you know, there's the Ultimate Universe, there's I think it's like the 616 universe, which is kind of what they're doing in the movie. There's like like a couple other ones, and they could do it like that, where they introduce the X-Men, they could introduce the Fantastic Four, they could introduce Doctor Doom, they could even do like Miles Morales, Spider-Man, they could do all that stuff. Just have it all, like the X-Men come out that way.
Do you think there's a possibility that would be...
A lot of people are talking about it doing that way. I don't know if they're going to do it that way.
Well, they're kind of doing that in the Spider-Man thing. Spider-Verse.
Yeah. The Spider-Verse, yeah.
So
with Sony. But that's a weird thing. It's Sony's doing an animated movie. It looks good. I'm excited for it.
do you think halfway through Avengers Infinity War,
Right.
a cartoon Spider-Man
I would love...
will appear?
I want a cartoon Spider-Man to appear.
Do you think they do like a Roger Rabbit style Avengers scene?
I would see it a million times if just randomly... Or they could do, like, just have, like, all their characters show up as weird cartoon versions. If they had the Fantastic Four show up as their cartoon versions, I would do.
Yeah, because how do
see
you
it.
top the superstar casting that they did in the last one?
Yes.
They had Forgettable Men,
Yeah.
the girl with the dragon tattoo, or no, it was Kate Mara.
Kate
It was the
Mara.
other Mara.
Yeah.
All right, so Mark Wahlberg's girlfriend in Shooter.
I was going to say House of Cards.
Yeah, House of Cards too.
Yeah.
Apollo Creed's son,
Yes.
who's amazing.
But
Oh my God!
but
Now he's canon in a different way.
He's already in it. He's going to be He's in the Black Panther movie coming
That's
out.
what I mean. What if he had to fight himself as the Human Torch?
Best ever. Or even better, Chris Evans also comes in as the Human
What
Torch.
if they have to fight each other?
Since he's our Captain America, and we could have 2 Human Torches.
My mind is blown.
It would be a lot of fun.
If they get Warner Brothers on board, they could just bring in the losers for no reason.
For no reason. His other comic book movie. And they could just...
His other... wasn't there a fourth one?
What was his 4th one?
That travesty with Dakota Fanning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Technically, there was a
Push.
5th one. Where he's on a train in the ice.
Snowpiercer, yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie.
He's just always doing comic book things.
It's very true. And they could bring in Kick-Ass.
God, why don't they just make a sequel to The Losers? That was a great film.
I know. But isn't, wasn't Zoe Saldana in that too?
Yeah.
So, Gamora.
Yeah, it's like one of the few movies where she's not painted.
Yes, that's very true. Avatar, she was painted up. Well, not painted, but like CG. Yeah.
She was painted in Gamora.
Mm-hmm.
Or in Guardians. But
Guardians.
I feel like she was painted in something else too.
Where she was not like... Where she had to wear like something to cover herself?
I thought so. Man, I don't know anymore. It doesn't matter.
Hey, if she's cool with the makeup.
Just stop it. Stop painting Gamora. So Zoe Saldana is amazing looking, and they keep painting her in weird body paint. Stop it. We totally weren't interrupted.
No,
by a train.
There wasn't a train coming through.
It was actually Chris Evans.
Yes.
Breaking through the ice that's outside.
Oh my God.
Some might say piercing the snow.
Yeah. He's apparently eating babies.
Is that a thing?
It's...
I never...
I can't... it's hard to explain, but it's like a train that's going around the... It's... I don't know. It was based on a comic.
Confirmed, Chris Evans eats babies?
Well, he even references... I forget the thing where he says, like... It's like, I know babies taste the best. Or something. They're talking about eating people and... Like, they saying that babies taste the best.
Did you have some sort of fever dream?
No, it's real. You can look up that clip online. It's pretty weird. I've never seen the movie. I know it involves something about, like, it's, like, the Earth is going through another ice age or something. And there's a non-stop, there's a train that's, like, keeps going. The poor people are in the back. The rich people are in the front. I have no idea, like, the whole thing behind it, but... It's like, I think it's about like the poor people like rising up and like trying to take over the train or something along those lines.
I think the train represents communism.
Sure.
I'm not,
it does.
I'm not. That's not confirmed. That was just me joking. That was
it could.
That was something that's a joke that I've always kind of used where the entirety of high school, every single book that we apparently read in English
Animal
class,
Farm?
Everything represented communism in some way or another.
Sure.
That was a weird thing. The educational system.
That's great.
Dr. Seuss. Communism.
Dr. Seuss represents communism.
He does. Every time you see that cat,
Mm-hmm.
you know what color his hat is?
Red and white.
Red. You know who loves red? Communists.
Oh my God. We're going to
That
talk
was-
about this.
We could talk about cats and communism.
Yeah, Cats and Communism. That'll
But-
be our new podcast. But,
let's talk about themes.
yes.
Like the underrunning theme of communism.
Yes.
What would you...
Are you theming your year communism?
I'm theming it, yeah. No, what are you theming yours? You go ahead.
I'm really trying to
Oh.
think of like a good one. I want to say like there's a couple I want to do. One, of course, health, which is a good thing to theme your year is. Your year is, what is that?
Your year is health.
Yeah. But I also want to...
YIH.
But, yes. But also, my big theme for this year is, like, I kind of want to say finishing, but starting and finishing something, I think is kind of like a big theme to my year. Like, sometimes I'll start a project and I'll really procrastinate on it too long. And I really need to get better at scheduling and all that stuff. So to do that, I think I really need to concentrate on starting something and finishing it. So I don't really know what's a better name than that, starting and finishing, or making sure you finish kind of thing.
Get the job done.
Get the job done.
GTJD.
Yes. WWJD.
That's right. What would job done?
What would job done? But I think that's probably going to be my theme for the year, is trying to, start and finish stuff, and not wait on it. Even with this podcast, I try to get it out as fast as I can, but I think there's some places where I could cut some time down on certain things.
Don't tell them.
And get this out a little bit faster. But yeah, definitely starting and finishing is a theme, and health is a good one as well. So do you have a theme for your year?
Yeah, I totally didn't come up with it a few minutes ago.
No, you didn't.
I'm going with taking chances.
Taking chances is a good one.
Yeah, because I don't feel like I take enough chances in life. I'm mostly, careful person.
That's right.
Choices I make, things I do. Mostly careful, but I think there's not enough times where I'm willing to take risks on the long shot. So I think this year is going to be about taking chances. I think that's something I can live up to pretty easily. And I don't have to work out. Because there's a really good chance that I wouldn't enjoy it.
Oh.
You might not know this, but I'm rapidly becoming a whale.
Not at all.
I'm taking a chance.
No.
That's why I wear such big clothes.
Yeah.
This room.
Bob is a rail. He's very skinny. So don't let him fool you with saying he's a whale.
Don't tell them that I'm a rail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then they're going to cast me as Andy Serkis's partner in our new cop dramedy.
Yes.
Which
you're gonna play the Doug Jones part. You're gonna be the man in the fish
That
suit.
is a thin man. I saw him on the Golden Globes, and he's creepy thin. Because you look at him next to all these Hollywood people, and you think like they're really thin.
Yeah.
He's like.
Well, I know he works out really hard. Like I know, and a lot of times the roles he plays, it's like he's got to be in a suit. I am sure. The Shape of Water, that is 100% him in a costume, just like Abe Sapien. And
Abe Sapien always wearing a costume. That's what he's known for. Yeah.
So, and I think he was even the Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four movies.
I think you're right.
And I'm sure that was
the phenomenal movie.
Yes, Rise of the Silver Surfer.
That was. Come on, Fox.
A big storm cloud as Galactus. Give me a man in a purple suit with big old headgear. It's all I'm asking.
I mean, I don't have an issue with that because people wouldn't want to watch it. I have an issue with the fact that Fox, for some reason, mandated that their characters could take no risks. And then they went really dark with the next one. Like, that movie is barely G. Like, I think...
What do you mean, barely G?
Like, Fantastic Four, I think, was PG, maybe.
No,
the second one.
PG-13.
No, the second one was PG.
Really?
Yes.
You're sure?
I would take a chance that I was right, and it would be a minimal risk.
Sure.
We'll put it that way. The first one might have been PG-13, but the second one was definitely PG.
What?
Yep.
The Invisible Woman dies. She
Yeah,
gets stabbed in the chest.
Oh.
Yeah.
She doesn't die.
She gets stabbed in the chest. One dude gets turned into like stone and disintegrated.
It's PG.
I don't know.
I feel like...
I think there was... the thing said, it's effing clobbering time.
I did not... He did not say that. The third one, and that's why I think the Fan Four Stick movie...
Oh, Fan Four Stick.
...tried so hard to be edgier.
Mm-hmm.
The Josh Trank thing. Because there is a scene with Doctor Doom. I recommend that everybody just watches the scene with Doctor Doom hallway scene.
Oh, exploding heads?
Exploding heads. Like the body horror.
Yeah.
That he wanted to... Apparently he wanted to do a Cronenberg-esque film.
Which, honestly, they should have kind of just let him do. Because what came out was not good.
Are you saying that they shouldn't try and micromanage art?
Yeah. And if they didn't want him to do what he did, they should have just gotten a different director. Gotten a different story. I mean, honestly, I read Max Landis, who he made Chronicle with. Max Landis wrote Chronicle. And he actually wrote initially... Oh, he was right. It's PG. Max Landis wrote the original, I think, treatment for the Fantastic Four movie, but he had it as like an actual, like movie, like it was, or like a superhero type movie. It wasn't about body horror or anything like that. But they didn't go with it, and I think that probably they regret it now. That was an awful movie.
Having checked the rating on Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer,
right?
Shame on the 37% of critics that gave it a positive review on Rotten Tomatoes. Shame on you.
You think it deserved less?
It deserved a lot less. What was with that weirdness where they made Jessica Alba look more Aryan? What was that? They made her... Yeah, they bleached her hair blonder, and then they gave her creepy, like, blue eyes, and they made her look paler.
Oh, that was kind of weird.
Stop it. Stop it. She's not actually... Her skin isn't turning invisible. Her ability is to turn invisible. Stop it.
And honestly, I think nobody really cared if her eyes were a different color or anything like that.
I did, because I looked at it and I was like...
No, I mean...
I saw this movie. This is creepy.
If they would have just kept her eyes the same, or just let her use her actual
they didn't...
eye color. Like, it seemed like an unnecessary thing.
Johnny Storm didn't constantly have smoke coming off him.
Yeah.
What a weird movie. They should do that on How Did This Get Made. I'd love to know the research behind it, because I'm not gonna be willing to sit down and pour through all sorts of files and try and figure out what happened to cause that abortion that was a film.
Oh.
But man, yeah. Anyway, taking chances.
Yeah, nothing will beat the '80s version, or I think it was '80s or '90s version of Fantastic Four.
Oh, with the it was '80s, I think.
Yeah.
The made for TV. By who seemed to be the same guy who made the David Hasselhoff Nick Fury movie.
Right. Oh man.
Anyway.
Yes. Sorry.
What would you say you would be looking forward to this year?
Oh, I would say a couple of things. One, Black Panther movie, but two, the return of Hellboy is coming back to comics with the original creator, Mike Mignola. He has, I guess, come out of retirement, and he's going to start doing Hellboy again. which is funny because Hellboy is in hell and dead
Yes, but
and missing an eye.
he's also got a new film coming out,
Yes.
as we've discussed, so they probably want to keep him relevant.
Yeah.
It's not like Disney's going around saying Wolverine's dead.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Wolverine's not dead anymore.
I know, it's almost like they got the rights back.
Wow. And you know what I also saw? Fantastic Four are back.
Shocking.
Wow. I follow this great artist online. Oh, God, I'm going to forget his name. But I think it's Jim Cheung.
If you cough while you say it, people will never know you forgot his name. There you go. Wow, racist.
I can't do a cough. But he's been posting some stuff up. He's the new artist on the Fantastic Four. And it looks great. I think maybe Mark Waid's writing it. I hope. But
you'd have to wade through some research to
wade
find
through
out.
some research, but I hope they bring back Jonathan Hickman to do it.
He did the Ultimate stuff, if I recall, too. Hickman?
Warren Ellis.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Bret Easton Ellis?
No.
Author of American Psycho?
No. It was not. I would read that. That would have been great. But yeah, like Warren Ellis did the Ultimate stuff. Trying to think who was doing. Jonathan Hickman was writing he started with Fantastic Four, which went all the way through, connected to his Avengers Infinity stuff, and then ended with his Secret Wars, which kind of ended the Fantastic Four in a great way, which is probably like the best like love letter to the Fantastic Four, which is the fight between Doom and Mr. Fantastic. Like really finally have it out. It's really good. Along with like a billion other heroes, you get to see like what happens when the Black Panther gets an Infinity Gauntlet and fights Doctor Doom. It's amazing story. But
I would read it.
Yeah. Have you read it yet?
Nope.
No, I'll have to lend it to you.
I'll see it all in the movies.
That's true. They are going to put probably a ton of it in the movies.
I would not be surprised if they bring in the Fantastic Four.
I wouldn't be either.
Or they reference them.
Or something along those lines where, hey, whatever happened to those guys who got lost in space somewhere?
Do you think it's like a money pit, though? Do you think there's a way to bounce back from that? Because people said it couldn't happen with Spider-Man, and clearly it could.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's what they do. Don't give them their own movie. Give them, like, the Hulk
To
thing.
set them up, and then...
Yeah. And maybe, honestly, like, it would kind of work, because they're always discovering new stuff. Like, that was kind of the big thing of, like, the Marvel Universe. Like, any enemies that would end up attacking the Marvel Universe, the Fantastic Four would usually find them first. Like, oh, Galactus. Oh, Doctor Doom.
Thanos.
I think even... Well, I think pretty sure, like, Thanos was, like, the Silver Surfer ran into him or something like that. Like, a bunch of other ones. Like, a bunch of, like, the Negative Zone... Like, all those things. Like, a lot of the alien races. I mean... Mole Man. The subterranean caverns under the, New York. The Inhumans. I mean, really, they introduced so many things in the Fantastic Four that they kind of, like, pick from and they use now. But the best villain is Doctor Doom. And Marvel really kind of needs that back.
I wonder if they could do a show.
It would be not... They could do a show.
Too expensive.
But it would be so expensive. Even if you had the Thing in a suit, make it like a suit like they did in the movies, it would still be way too expensive.
Well, in the movie, because I think the newest Thing was he CG?
He was CG.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. If you want to keep your costs down and just...
Put Michael Chiklis in it, he'll do it.
Yeah. He did another version of it called, what was it, No Ordinary Family or something like that?
Oh, Lord. That did happen.
And I'm pretty sure that was like their attempt to do a Fantastic Four TV show.
Or Incredibles.
Or an Incredibles. Which is another thing. If you really want to make it work, call up Brad Bird and be like, what did we do with the Fantastic Four?
Nah, he's busy with Mission Impossible.
No, he's doing Incredibles too.
Oh, is he now?
Yep.
How about If you think about putting Michael Chiklis in something,
Right?
you just watch The Shield instead.
That's a good idea.
That's
Or The
That's a good
Commish. Go watch The Commish.
The Commish was fine.
I actually, way back when I was a kid, I watched The Commish. I thought it was okay.
I watched a bit of it.
But nothing's going to beat The Shield. He's just... I mean, and honestly, you see him in The Commish, and then you see him in The Shield, and you swear it's a completely different person. And now, I don't know if he's still on there. I think he probably left, but he was on Gotham for a while as, like, the police commissioner, I think.
Pretty sure he left.
Yeah, pretty sure he left that, but he was there for a little bit.
He's talented.
He is. Good actor. Really good actor. Apparently a really great guy. And a huge Fantastic Four fan.
Oh, is that why he...
He really wanted to play the Thing. Like, 100% wanted to play the Thing.
Can you imagine if they just changed things up on him? Like, he gets there to record the first... film the first scene, and they're like, no, you're playing Mr. Fantastic. That would have been a different movie.
That really would have been a different movie. I would watch it, though. But I have no idea what they're going to do. I think they'll probably... If they're smart, they'll kind of introduce them slow. They'll do what they do with the Hulk and kind of just... they can't give the Hulk his own movie because the rights with Universal kind of thing. That's kind of like how they're getting around it. Is like, as long as he doesn't have his own movie, I think they can't really take a piece of it.
It's so weird.
It's so
just
weird.
Give Universal some money. I'm sure Disney can afford it.
Yeah. And honestly, why don't they... There's another thing that they... I think Namor is also at Universal. Or one of the other ones. But that's another thing they...
But does anybody care?
I would love to see a Namor movie.
But it's not going to matter, because now Disney's going to look at it and they're going to say... Because Namor is the Atlantean, right?
Yeah, he's Atlantis.
So they're just going to look at the failure that will be the Aquaman movie, because nobody cares.
Oh, come on. James Wan's going to tear that up.
James Wan.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we have the same guy in mind here.
Mm-hmm.
Saw?
Yeah? No.
I think so.
Okay.
I think that's where James Wan started.
Well, didn't he do... I'm trying to think. Didn't he do the last Star Trek movie?
No. That is not James Wan.
Okay.
Because the guy that made the last Star Trek movie was the guy who made Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
6-ish.
Yeah.
I think he made like 6 and 7 or 5 and 6.
I don't know. Well, but
if it's that guy, then
I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But if it's the guy who made Saw, no.
But anyways, we'll see how it goes. They'll see if they'll introduce the Fantastic Four. I'm sure they're trying to think of ways to do that. Probably more so the X-Men. I would think they would want to get a successful property in there.
You think?
Yeah. And they're talking, like, somebody said that they're going ahead with their X-Force movie. So they must...
Well, I mean, they're cool with Deadpool.
I think that maybe they'll just keep them their own thing. Like, sure, you could integrate Fantastic Four, but, like, then you could do, like, your kind of, like, Miramax Disney thing that they were doing before, where it's, like, they could do, like, those...
Do you really think they want to reference Miramax anymore, Tim?
Oh, no, they definitely don't.
They probably want to stay away from that.
They definitely could do more violent movies. You could have your rated R X-Men movies, and then you have, like, your nice PG-13 Marvel
I don't
Universe.
think they will. I think you'll slowly see Deadpool will be R.
Yeah.
And you'll see everything else stay at PG-13.
You think?
Yeah, because ticket sales. Ticket sales alone.
Well, X-Men, of course. I think PG-13.
I don't think anything will be R. I don't think anything in theaters that you have to pay to see will be R. I think they'll keep the Netflix shows, or whatever their new hub will be.
Yeah, they're definitely working on that right now.
I think that'll be fine with being R, because you don't have to pay a ticket.
Right.
You don't have to be 17 to see it. You just have to have access to rated R content.
Right.
Or TVMA, or whatever you're going to call it. And I think that'll happen. Okay. Because
you think they'll do a a Netflix type Fantastic Four show, I don't think they would.
I don't know if they do that, but I don't see any reason they couldn't take a Netflix. To be honest, I would think X-Force would be that.
Maybe.
They're fine with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They've shown that they don't mind spending money on it.
Yeah.
Because
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
has some CG.
they've had some stuff where they go to outer space and crazy shit, so stuff.
Oof.
Ugh.
That's the first one, I think.
Yeah, I slipped it in there. But
we could always...
But we'll speculate.
We can always edit out Tim's potty mouth.
But we'll definitely see what's coming up with that. I think we're going to have to end here, though. No. But we'll definitely be talking some more stuff soon.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus 2.
Is that happening?
There's talks about it.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yep.
No.
All the original cast coming back.
Nope.
Yep.
The kids?
Yep.
Thora Birch?
Yes.
They would bring back Thora Birch.
Thora Birch, except now she's a witch. No, I could see they have talked about bringing
What
back
about the
witch,
teenage brother who's never heard from again?
Well, he's a ghost now. CG ghost.
The whole cast.
Yep. They're going to do like they did with that Rogue One.
Would they dig up the cat?
They dig up the cat.
Amazing.
It's going to happen.
That was Thora Birch, right? I'm not crazy?
As a little girl, yeah. It was Thora Birch. I haven't seen her in anything. What is she even doing
She
now?
disappeared from what I can tell after
She was a good actor.
American Beauty.
Well, I saw her in Ghost World with Scarlett Johansson.
Was that before or after?
I think it was before, I want to say, but I don't know for sure. She was great.
It was right around that time.
She was really good in Ghost World, also based on a comic.
Odd that Wes Bentley is the one who made it out of that alive. Like he's the guy whose career isn't tarnished.
Oh,
right
and
now.
What's his name? Chris Cooper?
Chris Cooper's kind of gone. The last thing I saw him in was the 5 minutes that he played in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I don't even remember that. I was going to say the Muppet movie.
Is that any better, Tim?
It's so much better.
Oh, actually, you're right. But no, he was in Amazing Spider-Man 2. He played Norman Osborn.
Well, yeah.
For the
5 minutes he was alive.
Hey, can we... Sony, come on, man. You have Norman Osborn.
Yes.
Arguably Spider-Man's greatest nemesis.
Oh, he's amazing in that.
And you kill him immediately.
And replace him with...
You replace him with Valerian.
Yeah. Which I don't mind that actor, but I wasn't 100% on board with what they were doing. I don't even think they knew what they were doing.
They made him look like Zach the Neutrino.
Which was very funny. When I saw him, I was just like, oh, really? This is how we're going to do it?
And if you don't know who Zach the Neutrino is...
Go watch some Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, you watch. But,
which, by the way, I think in the comics they've actually introduced the neutrinos. Like, before they weren't canon, but I think they've now made them canon.
Why would they do that, Tim?
Because they're fighting Dimension X. Because Krang's there. They're all there.
Crazy.
I think they just introduced Bebop and Rocksteady in the comics.
My God, you're right. He did make Furious 7. James Wan made Furious 7.
James Wan? Okay.
Fact check.
Oh, wow. So I think it's him for...
He's Aquaman.
He is Aquaman.
But he also made Saw.
Okay.
So he made Saw, which apparently started out as a short. Just so everybody knows the career path of James Wan.
Go for it.
He made some movie in 2000 called Stygian. Then he made a short called Saw. Then Saw. I guess somebody saw the short and were like, oh my God, this needs to be a film. And they were right.
They were.
Then he immediately ruined it 3 years later.
Of course.
By making Dead Silence. Do you remember what Dead Silence was?
No.
The ventriloquist dummy horror film.
Oh my God. I do kind of remember that. Oh.
And then he made Death Sentence.
I don't even remember that.
It was based on a story written by the one-trick pony that was the writer of Death Wish. Because Death Wish was originally a book.
Right, I do remember that.
And then he wrote another short story or book called Death Sentence, where a guy's family gets killed and he gets mad and kills everybody.
Is that the one they did with Kevin Bacon? Yeah.
Yep, and really, like, it was John Goodman at his, shall we say, heftiest.
Oh, wow.
Before he started losing any of the weight.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that movie, I was like, oh, it's a shame we're gonna lose him.
Right.
Then he made some video short called Doggy Heaven.
Okay.
Because I guess, you know,
Sure.
Dead Silence and Death Sentence were kind of putting him at risk. Then he found, I guess, Blumhouse.
Okay.
Insidious.
Of course.
The Conjuring.
Love it.
Insidious 2.
Mm-hmm.
Furious 7. He's like, well, that was super successful. The Conjuring 2.
Okay. And Conjuring 2 made a ton of money.
Yeah, and then he did an episode of MacGyver.
Oh, the new MacGyver?
Yep.
Not MacGruber, right?
No, not MacGruber, which I would have watched. And then Aquaman.
Oh, I can't wait for his Aquaman.
But he is not the same guy who did Fast and the Furious 6.
Mm-hmm.
Whose name was Justin Lin, who's the guy who made Star Trek 3.
Okay. And I think Justin Lin, they were in talks to do the Flash movie with. I don't know if that's still happening. Who knows what's going on with...
Do you think they just look at the Fast and the Furious movies and say these guys are basically superheroes? I mean, they are.
They are superheroes. When you're jumping out of planes with a car...
Breaking casts on your broken arm by flexing your muscle?
When The Rock catches you as he's, like, falling out a window to brace your fall like a superhero.
Oh, my gosh. Could we see... Bear with me.
Okay.
The cast of the Fast and the Furious, which is a Universal property.
Right.
Could we get Disney on board to make Hulk versus Fast and Furious?
That would be amazing.
So good.
But can't get The Rock now. Rock's the DC boy. He's going to be the Black Adam in the Shazam movie.
Doesn't matter.
You got to do one or the other.
No, that is not the case. There's got to be somebody who crossed over. Michael Keaton.
But he's not Batman. He was Batman in '89.
Was he not essentially Batman?
He was Batman in that movie. But he was like the Bruce Springsteen of Batman. He's like a working, blue collar guy. I actually really dug that story.
That was a good movie.
They did a great job with that. You sympathize with the villain.
Woo woo.
I would just say it was very well done.
But we're going really well.
We're way over time.
I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay. So you can catch me, Tim Martinek, on the Instagrams,
and I am on the Twitter at Martin MARTON _Bob.
And you can catch us on our YouTube channel now. That's something new for the new year. Precarious Pixels. You just look it up, and you will see our posting of this audio, of course. And a couple of our previous shows are up there on right now. If
you're looking at it on a screen, you're already there.
Right.
So this message was not for you.
Yeah. And of course, you can find us on iTunes, Spreaker. Review us, give us 5 stars, or just any feedback in general. We'd love to, hear from you guys. Even if you hate us, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. Give us a comment. Say, I hate you.
Well, honestly, we're talking to you, Reese Witherspoon. We know that you've heard Bob's rant. You can
for some reason break the science. Chevy Chase.
You can break the science. Chevy Chase doesn't know how to use Twitter.
I don't even hate him.
Reese, go ahead and you can tweet Bob, and we'll get this settled once and for all. Come on the show, Reese. Come on the show.
Please visit us.
Come on the show. We'll have this all out.
Why'd you do it to Jack Nicholson?
Oh, all right. We're going now. All right. But we'll definitely see you next week, and we'll have a ton more stuff to talk about. All right. So this is me signing off. Bye.
Bye, guys. Good night, if it's nighttime.
to do a little redesigning with us. You can find Bob at Martin, MARTON _BOB on Twitter, and you can find me on Instagram at Tim Martinek, all one word, TIMMARTINEC. And you can join in us, have some fun, do your redesigns for this week's redesign. It's a lot of fun for us to do this, but we like to see fresh ideas and fresh artists like doing what they do as well. You can also hashtag it Precarious Pixels and we'll find it as well.